so many investors kind of try, and this is my own personal opinion, so, take it for what it's worth. So many investors try to like label neighborhoods A, B, C, D, whatever, right? And, I don't really like that because my C probably doesn't match your C, and, we're probably not talking the same language. So what I try to do is, just look at a neighborhood from the standpoint of, especially when we're getting into these better price markets, right? Because if you look at San Diego, half of the people in some of the nicest neighborhoods in San Diego, people rent, right? So like for San Diego, it's really hard to determine, is it a good neighborhood because of renters, right? Because, you can still make $250,000 in San Diego and need to rent your place. When we get to places like Gary or, LaPorte or what have you, that mindset as well as that dichotomy changes, right? The more owner occupants in a neighborhood, the higher pride of ownership you're going to have and the more likelihood of stability long-term in those neighborhoods. So for me personally, I try to invest in neighborhoods that are owner occupied, meaning they're at least 50% owner occupied. But I also don't want you to overthink it. So I use a website called neighborhoodscout.com. I'll pull that up for you guys right now. We can check that out. So neighborhoodscout.com, you can buy, I just use the free version. You can buy like a subscription for $100 a year, and it gives you way better analytics. But I don't think you need analytics, just because I just want the generalities. Too much analytics causes me to not make decisions, and I like making decisions. So, just type in Memphis, Tennessee. All right. A few things that I don't look at that are probably going to blow your mind. I don't look at schools, and I don't look at crime. And you'll be like, well, John, why don't you look at either of those? Well, crime is a lagging indicator in a lot of cases. I think you'd be surprised at how much crime actually happens in your neighborhood that you are unaware of. If you actually paid attention to the crime in your neighborhood and compared it to other places around the country, you'd probably be like, oh shit, there's way more crime in my neighborhood than I knew. So I think it's a lagging indicator, and I think that we're kind of numb to what real crime actually is. And then number two, schools. The average blue collar individual that's going to be renting our home is not worried about the school district that their children go to. They're worried about how close they are to work, right? Let's say that again. The average blue collar individual that's going to be renting the home that we're going to be providing for them is more worried about how close and easy it is for them to get to work than the school district their children go to. And you're thinking, John, how is that possible? Well, we need to put ourselves in our renters' minds, right? We are not renters, right? We are investors. We are in this position for a reason. We have this mindset for a reason, right? This is not the same mindset as our residents that are living in our home. So we want to supply them with a property that is closer to work than it is in a good school district. Now, if it winds up being both, great, but I would rather it be closer to all of the socioeconomic anchors in my city than a good school district. So I don't look at crime in school. I like this overview. This overview can tell me 95% of everything that I need to know. All right. And let's check this out. All right. So what did I tell you guys earlier? I told you inside of the 4240 circle, it gets pretty ugly, right? There is a strip that runs like down the middle that's really nice. But look at this. This is all like the lowest. If you look over here, it says...
Is this for crime? The color coding is for crime, or what is it?
So I'm on the overview tab right here. And then if you go to...
What's the deep red versus yellow?
Most expensive Memphis neighborhoods. All right. And then
so
this
that's the pricing. Okay.
Tell us the highest and lowest. So what this is saying is all this dark brown, these are the most expensive neighborhoods in Memphis. So that's, the rich areas, right? Probably not buying rental properties there. These really light yellow areas, which is right inside that 4240 circle I was telling you about, the lowest, right? That's going to be the urban core, which is the PC way to say it. And then I probably want to be somewhere right here, right? I want to be, as I talked about, the southern part of Memphis is our bread and butter, right? These are the areas that are going to have most of our renter kind of, or even renter slash owner occupant neighborhoods, right? The brown are all owner occupants. The really light yellow are all rentals. And then everything in the middle is going to be that 50-50 split, right? I can normally make my decision on where I want to invest in the city by just looking at this map. And then what I'll do is, as I start looking at rental properties, if I don't know this city that well, or this is someplace I've never invested before, then I'll just start calling real estate agents in that area and start having conversation with them. Hey, I'm looking at this property on 123 Main Street. It's in this zip code. What are your thoughts on that area as a rental property? Would you go there in the middle of the day and get out of your car and collect rent, right? Would you have a problem walking down that street in the middle of the night, right? I would start asking those questions. So this allows me to just quickly and easily make an evaluation. Now we can go deeper, right? We can talk about economics and demographics, right? What this will help us do is this will help to show us, is there any type of gentrification going on, right? I mean, you see in South Memphis here, we're seeing some gentrification, big income increases across the southern part of Memphis, right? Which is great. We like seeing that. And then, this is just highest appreciating neighborhoods in Memphis as well. Guess what? It's amazing when you see all these things start to line up, right? We had highest income increases in southern Memphis, and that was 100% correlated by the highest appreciating neighborhoods in Memphis, because people are moving into Memphis. Other neighborhoods are getting more expensive, so they're looking for these transitional neighborhoods. They're going through gentrification. So the southern Memphis area, I've made my decision. That's where I'm investing, right? Don't overthink it, right? We have the ability to make quality decisions with how easy it is to get our hands on data like this. Just look at it, make a decision, move on. Then once you have a property that you're making an offer on or something under contract, then do your next level of due diligence and say, hey, call that agent, talk to another investor, or so on and so forth. So that's ultimately my quote unquote neighborhood searching process, if you will.